There are things that we think only happen in horror movies. Well then, I'm going to tell you about the case of the Smurl family and what happened to them. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support is very important to us. We're almost reaching 100 subscribers. Thank you very much for the support, guys. Let's go to the video. It was 1972 when the Smurls were forced to leave their home in the city of Wilkes-Barre after Hurricane Agnes flooded much of northeast Pennsylvania. At the time, Jack Smurl's parents, John and Mary, bought a house in West Pittston for about $18,000. They lived in one part of the house, while Jack and his family lived in the other part. The Smurls took a long time to redecorate and renovate the house, doing much of the work themselves. Jack was married to Janet. The two met in 1967 and married a year later. Jack served in the Navy and was a neuropsychiatrist. Both he and his wife had been raised in Catholic families with strong religious beliefs. The couple already had two daughters named Dawn and Heather, and after some time they had twins Shannon and Karen. They enjoyed living next to Jack's parents and, for a while, were happy in the house. However, things started to get strange. In January 1974, an inexplicable stain appeared on a new carpet. Until then, it might not have been a big deal. Sometimes one of the children accidentally spilled something and preferred not to tell the parents to avoid getting in trouble. However, other frightening events followed. Jack's television inexplicably caught fire. The water pipe started leaking constantly in the house even after being fixed numerous times. The kitchen sink and bathtub, which were new, had scratch marks as if a wild animal had passed through. The wood in the bathroom, which had been recently painted, was also full of scratches, and no one could explain how these marks had appeared. But the family was already beginning to find all that very strange. In 1975, the eldest daughter of the family, Dawn, said she saw people floating around her room. In 1977, the strange events intensified even more. The toilets in the house flushed inexplicably. Footsteps were heard on the stairs. Drawers opened and closed. Radios started playing out of nowhere, even when turned off, and a rocking chair, a family heirloom, was often seen rocking with no one sitting in it. Over time, horrible odors began to pervade the house, and on several occasions, Jack felt an invisible hand caressing him. These events happened from time to time, and after years of ignoring them, in 1985, things started to get a little more serious. The house began to frequently get cold. Jack and Janet always heard voices from beyond saying obscene things. In February of that same year, Janet heard someone calling her name while doing laundry in the basement. She walked around the house looking for who was calling her until she realized that she was actually alone. 2 days after hearing the voices, Janet witnessed something she had never seen before. The kitchen of the house began to get cold, and a dark form without facial features appeared to Janet. Then this form dematerialized and passed through the wall, appearing to Jack's mother on the other side of the house. From this moment on, paranormal activities increased in frequency and magnitude. One day, a large ceiling fan fell just inches from Shannon, almost killing her. Then, the events happened to Jack and Janet. One day, while they were having relations, Janet was violently pulled from the bed while Jack was paralyzed, choked by a terrible smell that had taken over the room. Even the family's dog, a German Shepherd, was thrown against the wall of the house. The noises, knocks, and scratches began to be heard much more frequently. One night, Janet was thrown down the stairs, but fortunately she was not injured. When the Smurls were not at home, neighbors reported hearing terrible screams, as if someone were being tortured inside the house. At the moment, the family had no idea what to do. Janet heard about the couple Ed and Lorraine Warren, the two investigators of paranormal phenomena and demonologists. Although the family was skeptical, They had no one else to turn to, so they decided to give Warrens a chance. The investigative couple went to the house accompanied by Rosemary, a nurse who claimed to be a medium. They began to investigate the case, asking the Smurls about their religious beliefs. After they asked if the family had done any kind of Satanism, used a Ouija board, or even invited any kind of supernatural entity to go to the house, the couple and the nurse accompanying them began to walk through the house. And after analyzing the place, they said that there were 4 evil spirits haunting the house. 3 of them were practically harmless, but the fourth was a very dangerous demon. Since there was no other explanation, the Warrens deduced that the demon was dormant in the house and woke up because of the emotional energy generated by the girls in puberty. To try to confront the demon, the Warrens played religious music in the house and prayed. The spirit reacted by violently shaking the mirror and drawers of a dresser. But after provoking the demon, the events became more violent, to the point where the entity sexually abused Janet. The Warrens then brought in Father Robert McKenna to try to solve the family's problem. The priest prayed a mass in Latin and tried to exorcise the house. However, the priest's actions only made the demon even more furious. One of the couple's daughters became seriously ill, while Janet and Mary appeared with bite marks and scratches on their arms. The Warrens explained that they were in the second demonic stage, oppression, and that the next stages would be possession and death. Father McKenna performed the second exorcism in late spring, but also without success. After repeated refusals from the church to help the family, the Smurls decided to publicize their case, remaining anonymous behind a screen. They went to a program called People Are Talking, where they told their story in August 1986. They felt they needed to share the case with a wider audience and granted an interview to the newspaper. After reporting what happened at the residence, the house where they lived became practically a tourist attraction for the press and residents of the city of West Pittston. Some skeptics regarding the case, including neighbors of the family, said that the whole story was made up to profit from book and movie deals. The Smurls also sought help from a medium named Mary Alice Rinkman, who examined the house and said that the Warrens' analysis was correct, as she was able to identify 4 spirits in the house. One of the spirits was a woman named Abigail, and another was a mustached man named Patrick, who murdered his wife and her lover and then was hanged. She couldn't identify the third, but said that the 4th spirit really was a very powerful demon. With so much media coverage, the diocese of the city finally decided to investigate the case. The Warrens planned a mass exorcism with several priests and prayer groups, and Father McKenna also exorcised the house for the 3rd time, which made the events disappear for a while. Shortly before Christmas 1986, the events started. Knocks, horrible smells, and violent acts of aggression began to torment the family again, with no hope that one day they could live in peace in that house. The family decided to move to another city. The church performed a 4th exorcism in 1988 when a woman named Deborah Owens moved into the Smurls' house. She told reporters that she never encountered anything supernatural while living there. Since then, experts, priests, television producers, and journalists have examined the Smurls' story, which served as inspiration for a book and a movie. Whether this story is true or not, I cannot guarantee. But in 2000, the tenant who inhabited the former Smurl house was found dead under strange circumstances. The press reported that he had died of an overdose, but in my opinion, there is still something very strange in that house. Who knows? And you? Do you want to see a video here? Leave a comment telling us which case you would like to see, or find out if it actually had something real or if it was just an invention. I say goodbye here. See you in next time.